Hey guys, Chad at Spire Racing Heads. I'm going to do a little video today on valve jobs. I get that question a lot, and where can I buy a nice cutter? What valve should I put on it? How do you go about it? And I'm going to show you something real simple here that a lot of you guys will find helpful, useful, and it'll make yourself a nice valve job. So I have a lot of cutters like this. So this is just one that I actually have this cutter. So it's got a 40 top, it's 100 long, 50 seat, 40 wide, a 65 that's 65 wide. Then the 75 just goes straight down and it's 350 thousandths long. So if you cut that, it would make a really, really ugly seat. You'd have a whole lot of grinding to do. So what I do is I'll go in there and I'll punch the throat at 90 degrees. And the reason why I'll do that, and what I use, I'll show you here in a minute, is that way you can set your diameter here anywhere you want. Set it at 88%, 92%, whatever you want to do. I personally make everything I do, street heads, the drag heads at 91.5%. I'll take the valve size 91.5, and that's what the throat is. Now, like the comp heads and the super stock heads and ASCS heads and anything that's really, really velocity limited, obviously I'm going to have a bigger throat in it. So what I use for this 90, let me make that drawing again. That will be the throat, is this right here. So what this is basically a seat register cutter. Sudden makes it, you can buy them imported, whatever. Set it up, punch it, okay? Then this is obviously a form cutter. This is all new and stuff. This is what I use. Tip over. I use a single blade cutter on everything. I don't do them one by one. I don't get that. But anyway, and then obviously a good carbide pilot. These are dead pilots. All of mine are 375 top. This is actually a Joe Baker. They're a lot heavier, you guys know, versus a steel. You gotta have them. I don't think you can wear them out. I personally have tried both. My machine will do both. I like the dead pilot better. So after we cut that, okay, we punch that throat and we come in and then we do the valve job. So what's going to happen is where this 90 starts is where this is going to stop. So what will happen is you'll have your cuts and your widths, and then this 75 may only be 100 wide. It may be 75 wide, but you're using that form cutter to size your throat, and then you don't have to worry about your bottom angle. Another thing that's really important is this top cut, okay? And that's why I like this really long one. So this 40 degree I'll use, like all my 23 degree stuff is 40 degree, big block Chevy. If I get a head in here that I'm doing a valve job on, AFR, something like that, it takes a lot of blending. And the worst thing that you don't want this 40 to come up, and you don't want it to do this to the transition, because that right there may show better on a flow bench, but it's gonna kill it. What you want is that top cut to carry out to the deck. So I get a lot of valve jobs in here. Here's the valve job, here's the chamber, and there's a dip. You gotta get that shit out of there. You don't want that in there. You just don't. So all my custom cutters, like I said, I'll have like the cutter that I have, like for what I put on Dickey's big block heads that made 915 to 23 degrees. So it's a 40 top, 45 seat, 65, 75, 85. Okay? And the way I came up with that, honestly, was stones. I took all of these angles that I seen from some of these cutters, and I came up with my own recipe, and then I started doing it. I started spraying alcohol and Dicam in it, and you will find real quick, depending on what you have for angles, let's say you have 2.5 inches at the pinch on a 23 degree, it may pull 320 CFM with a 45. Put a 55 on it, that same area is going to flow 330. Okay, it pulls harder on the port. So you've got to be real conscious. You can't just put a 55 on it because you read it in a magazine. You got. There's some science to it. So saying that, what I'll do is, let's say I get a set of high-end cylinder heads in here from a customer or an engine builder that I take care of. I don't know what his angles are. So what I'll do is I'll take a valve, put a Sharpie line on it, take it over to the valve machine, and I'll just keep touching it till I figure out what the actual seat angle is. Then I will sharpen up a stone, a finished stone, and I will bump the seat. Now, if the thing was cut right and it was sealed up from the beginning, I promise it'll come in. It'll definitely come in. So there's no sense in redesigning this because you don't want this scenario. You want that transition to go straight up. You got to blend all of that out. So this has actually got, this cutter right here has actually got a nice, like an R76 round nose on it. So that where do you get these cutters? Okay, this is a custom Surdy. I've got several of them like this, but the Joe Mondello line is some Adarin stuff that Goodson sells. They got some really nice. But you don't, I just put a 40 top cut on that 11 degree Steve Sun and LS3 head. So that is critical. The top cut is critical. This bottom cut is critical because it sets your throat angle. So you got to have good quality tools. I mean, this stuff, I mean, none of this, there's probably $1,000 laying here, maybe more. Let's see, what else is important? Oh, okay, blending the valve job. Okay, so let's say let's say this is the seat, this is your 65, this is your 75. On the short side, I will blend into that, okay? So what I'll have left, well, actually that would be the 75. So what we'll have left, why I do that is because the reason why the rough burst started coming about in the valve job is because when you use a cartridge roll, the chances of rounding off that sharp edge is great. So what you're doing is you're just putting a boundary layer there that will help break up the fuel is what you want, okay? If you want to keep your low numbers, I don't blend it up that high. I'll just still go up to the bottom of the 75 and put my burr there. Leave all of that. Now that would only be on the short side. On the spark plug side, I will just do this all the way around. So you'll see some of my valve jobs on some, I don't know, I wonder if this head has it. Nope, see, that was a street head. I don't know if you can see it in there. I just went to the bottom. I don't have anything here to show you. But the way that you blend that, the way you blend is critical. And I know I'm a blender. I like to blend things. Some guys, some CNC heads you'll get, they just like to cut it. But I do believe in blending. I'll blend the top. I'll blend the bottom. I just think it makes for a better cylinder head. May not make any difference in power, but I feel it as a head porter is my job to blend the valve job. So the key things are punch it to your 90, okay? Don't want this right here. You want that transition to go straight up. You find a valve job that works. You can use it on a lot of things. You're not sure what you got, you can bump it with a stone. Just a lot of, there's a lot of things that are wrong about form cutters. A lot of guys think that you got to have a new one, which I guess if I was 28 instead of 58, I would probably buy one. But honestly, this profession's taking a toll on me, and I'm not sure I want to do it till I'm 70. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. If you guys have any questions, just post it. I'll do my best to reply. It's critical. The valve job area, I mean, it's a tune venturi. It's going to make or break the cylinder head. I want to try some steeper stuff. I've never been a real big 55 guy, in fact, but I want to do some testing with a 60-degree seat, and it's the only way you learn. So thanks for looking. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, holler. Thank you.